It's time for another League Lowdown to help you choose your next FM22 save. If you've been looking for inspiration for which teams to manage in Football Manager, fear not, because this time we're in Spain, investigating the clubs that might inspire your next FM adventure. If you don't know your Reals from your Barças, we'll examine the top teams and the lower league clubs that might provide the backdrop to your next Football Manager challenge. So let's fire up the database and dive into the League Lowdown Guide to Spain. Welcome to a long overdue League Lowdown Guide to Spain, where we're going to be looking at the clubs that might inspire your next FM adventure. But let's start by having a look at how the league structure operates in this nation. So Spain offers up 4 playable divisions in Football Manager. The top 2 at least are fairly straightforward. The top division's got 20 teams in it, meaning that clubs compete over a 38-game season, at the end of which 3 clubs are relegated down to the second tier. In that second tier, only the top 2 clubs are promoted automatically. The teams placed 3rd down to 6 go into a playoff to decide the 3rd promoted team. And in this 22-team division, 4 clubs are relegated down to the playable 3rd tier. In that 3rd tier, things get a little bit more complicated because it's arranged over 2 groups, each comprising 20 teams. Only the top club in each of those groups gets promoted automatically. The teams that come 2nd down to 5th in both of those 2 groups enter an 8-team playoff to determine 2 further promotion slots. You'll see, of the 20 teams competing in each of the 2 groups, 5 of them are going to get relegated down to the playable 4th tier of Spanish football. And the 4th tier in Spain offers even more clubs for you to take charge of, because it's organised not over 2 groups, not over 3, not even over 4, but over 5 different regional groups, each comprising 18 teams. Only the top team in each of those groups gets promoted. The teams 2nd to 5th in each of the groups enter a mammoth playoff to see who else will get promoted to the 3rd tier. And again, with just 18 clubs in each group, 5 of those clubs are going to find themselves relegated out of the playable divisions in Football Manager. So that is how the league structure operates. Let's have a look at the clubs that might tempt you to start a save, starting with the league champions. So the Spanish champions are, of course, Atletico Madrid, with Diego Simeone's men winning the title for the 11th time last campaign. But if you fancy a save with this club, it's likely that you're going to have ambitions of European honours. Atletico do have some pedigree. They've won the Europa League 3 times since 2010, most recently in 2018 when they defeated Marseille, and they've also won the now defunct European Cup Winners' Cup when they defeated Fiorentina back in the 60s. But you'll see there's no European Cups or Champions League honours in their trophy cabinet. They've reached 3 finals. 2 of them they've lost to Real Madrid. So maybe your save might be about redeeming the club and trying to win them their first Champions League crown. They've certainly got great facilities to help you along your way, with excellent training and youth facilities, good academy coaching and excellent youth recruitment. And there is a long list of youth players that this club have brought through down the years. But if you don't like taking charge of the current champions of Spain, maybe you'd like to take charge of one of the other big clubs. And clubs don't come an awful lot bigger than Real Madrid. They play in a stadium that holds more than 80,000 fans, and they've won the Champions League on more occasions than their city rivals have won La Liga. In fact, if we take a peek into their trophy room, we will see that it is brimming with silverware, with 4 UEFA Super Cups, 2 Europa Leagues, 4 FIFA World Club Cups. They've got 34 La Liga titles. That's a record for any Spanish club. But it's those 13 Champions League victories that perhaps take pride of place in their trophy room. In 2014, they won the fabled La Decima, the 10th Champions League. Well, they've won 3 more since that. The La Decima was won by Carlo Ancelotti, who's now back at the helm. But if you're to take over from him, my goodness, you would have excellent facilities at the club that you are managing. Superb training facilities, superb youth facilities, excellent academy coaching and exceptional youth recruitment, which means, as well as bringing in some of the world's top players, you might be able to produce your own wonder kids as well. But you will know as well as I do that Real Madrid have some fierce rivals from over in Catalonia. And those rivals are, of course, FC Barcelona, where the new camp holds almost 100,000 fans. And this is a club used to winning things, but currently going through a troubling spell on the pitch, in the dugout, and in the boardroom as well. The finances look bleak, although in terms of trophies, few clubs in European football can rival their 5 Super Cups, their 3 Europa Leagues. They won the European Cup Winners' Cup 4 times before that competition ended, one of them under the stewardship of Englishman Sir Bobby Robson. They've got 3 Club World Cups, although they didn't win the Champions League until 1992, when legendary coach Johan Cruyff took them to Wembley and defeated Italian champion Sampdoria, with outgoing coach Ronald Koeman scoring the winning goal. Pep Guardiola added further Champions League trophies as well, and they've got 5 now in total, lagging behind Real Madrid, who have 13. Real Madrid have also won La Liga more times as well. Barcelona have 26 titles. They've won plenty of those over the last decade, but last season and this, well, they've had a far more challenging time. Whilst things in the boardroom and at the bank may be difficult, in terms of the facilities that they offer you, well, they give you every chance of returning to the top of the Spanish game. Superb training facilities and youth facilities, as well as exceptional academy coaching and youth recruitment, means that you could bring through the next generation of Catalonian talent at this club. But maybe both Real Madrid and Barcelona are too big a club for you to wish to take charge of. Maybe you fancy overthrowing those 2 giants and reeling in Atletico as well, with one of the other clubs in Spain that have won multiple titles. If it's a challenge you're after, one of the greatest in Football Manager awaits you at Athletic Club from Bilbao, who play the 53,000 San Mamés Stadium. And in the infancy of Spanish football, this club were one of the most dominant before the formation of La Liga. They were winning the Copa del Rey. They've won it 24 times in total, and they've won La Liga on 8 occasions as well, none since 1984. And winning La Liga for Athletic Club becomes more challenging the wealthier the Spanish league becomes, and the more foreign stars flock to La Liga. While Athletic Club are up against it even more, because they have a policy of only signing and playing players that are from the Greater Basque region, which does stretch across northern Spain and into the tip of France as well. Hence why players such as Aymeric Laporte have played for them, but there's a heavy emphasis on signing players from local clubs as well as producing their own. And to do that, when they've got superb training facilities and superb youth facilities, as well as excellent academy coaching and good youth recruitment. But winning La Liga again with this club using a Basque-only policy is going to be an almighty challenge. But you'll also notice an absence of European silverware from Bilbao's trophy cabinet. Maybe that's the challenge for you, taking charge of a club using a Basque-only policy, guiding them to the summit of European football. But there's another club from nearby who are also experiencing one of the most successful spells in their history. And that club are Real Sociedad, who are another Basque club, but they don't operate a Basque-only policy. But they are coming off the back of a couple of very good seasons where they finished well in the league, and last season they also won the delayed 2020 Copa del Rey. That was their 3rd Copa del Rey in total, and they've also won La Liga on 2 occasions as well, winning it back-to-back in 1981 and 1982. This is another club with really strong facilities, superb training and youth facilities, good academy coaching, and good youth recruitment as well. If you like the idea of taking charge of one of the clubs that is not fancied to finish top of the table every season, a Basque club that gives you a little bit more freedom than Athletic Club do in your manoeuvrings in the transfer market, well, Sociedad are a possible option. But there's another club from further south with multiple title victories. Heading south, we hit the city of Valencia, and a club that plays in a 55,000 capacity stadium, and another club that are highly decorated, not just in terms of Spanish football, but in European football as well. 2 UEFA Super Cups, 3 Europa Leagues, a European Cup Winners' Cup as well, but no Champions League honours, unfortunately, even though they reached the final in successive years just after the turn of the millennium. In the first, they lost to domestic rivals Real Madrid. The second, Perhaps even more heartbreaking as they lost on penalties to German club Bayern Munich. To soften the blow, they have won La Liga 6 times, 2 of them fairly recently in 2002 and 2004, but 2004 is the last occasion that major honours were heading to the city of Valencia. Maybe that is until you take charge and turn them back into Spain's dominant force. Staying in the top flight in Spain, there are plenty more clubs that you could guide to glory. 2 clubs that probably should have won more silverware than they have. Both hail from the same city. The city is Sevilla. The first of those clubs is Real Betis, currently managed by Manuel Pellegrini. They've got a 60,000 capacity stadium, but in terms of trophies, well, relatively few for a club this size. They've won the Copa del Rey twice, and back in the 1930s, they won their sole La Liga title. They certainly have an infrastructure that implies that they are capable of giving you all of the tools you need to lead this club to further silverware. But maybe you might prefer to take charge of a club from the same city that may only have won La Liga once as well. But in terms of European honours, they are far more successful. And the club in question are, of course, Sevilla, the team that bears the city's name. They have an impressive arena of their own with a 43,000 capacity. Like Betis, they've only won La Liga once, a little bit later than Betis, but still all the way back in the 1940s. They've also won the Copa del Rey on more occasions as well, with 5 victories in that competition. But it's in Europe where this club seemingly has come to life. They've never won the Champions League, but they have won the UEFA Cup or the Europa League on 6 occasions. And look at how recently those honours have come. 06, 07, 2014, 15, 16, and 2020, the most recent of those. They are really a club that has dominated that competition over the last 15 years or so, but they've not been able to be successful thus far in the Champions League. Maybe that's the challenge for you. Take over this club, win La Liga, take them back into the Champions League and see if you can win a first Champions League title for a club from Seville. If we drop out the top flight, you will find plenty of sleeping giants in Spanish football just set for you to restore to the top of the country's game. One of those clubs is Real Zaragoza, who have never won La Liga, but still have plenty of honours in their history. They've won the Copa del Rey 6 times, winning it recently in 2001 and 2004. Back in 1964, they beat fellow Spanish club Valencia to win the UEFA Cup. Perhaps their most famous night, certainly to fans of English football, will be in 1995 when a player associated with Tottenham, and that is Naeem, scored from 40 yards out to defeat Arsenal in the final of the European Cup Winners' Cup. If you like the idea of restoring Zaragoza to the top division before trying to win them further domestic and European silverware, well, that's a challenge that awaits for you in Spain, but we could drop even further down the divisions where there are still plenty of interesting challenges. Arguably, sleeping giants in Spanish football don't come any bigger than Deportivo La Coruna. This northern club are now languishing down in the 3rd tier of Spanish football. Maybe you're the coach that could take charge and guide them back to the top flight. They've managed to win the Copa del Rey on 2 occasions, but gloriously, in the year 2000, they managed to win the La Liga title, atoning for a heartbreakingly close stab at winning the title just a few years earlier. But now you would need 2 promotions just to get them back to the top flight before you could begin to compete with the nation's biggest clubs once more. No European titles in their cabinet either. That would certainly be a challenge for those of us that enjoy taking clubs up from the lower leagues. If you like the idea of your football manager adventure starting out in the lowest playable division, well, we can head down not to the 2nd, not to the 3rd, but the 4th tier of Spanish football, where we will find one of Spain and the Basque Country's grandest old clubs. When La Liga was first formed, 3 Basque clubs were invited to take part. One was Athletic Club, one was Real Union, and the other was Arenas Club. Why were they invited? Well, shortly before the formation of La Liga, back in 1919, Arenas Club won the Basque title, qualifying them for the Copa del Rey, where they made it all the way to the final and defeated Catalonian champions Barcelona in that final. It's a long way back from the Spanish fourth tier all the way to the top flight, but maybe that's the length and scale of challenge that you're looking for your next Football Manager adventure. So that completes the League Lowdown guide to Spain, a country that is home to some of the world's biggest football clubs, as well as some very tempting sleeping giants that you could return to glory. We'll see you very soon, where we'll make another nation the focus of our next League Lowdown.